Welcome to ePathshala. I am Dr. Shakila, going to speak on shelf life and nutritional quality of encapsulated products. Consumers prefer food products that are tasty, healthy and convenient. Encapsulation, a process to entrap active agents into particles, is an important way to meet these demands by delivering food ingredients at the right time and place. For example, this technology may allow taste and aroma differentiation. It may mask bad tasting or bad smelling components, stabilize food ingredients and or increase their bioavailability. Encapsulation may also be used to immobilize cells or enzymes in the production of food materials or products, as in fermentation or metabolite production. Microencapsulation is a process by which a core, that is, bioactive or functional ingredient, is packaged within a secondary material to form a microcapsule. The secondary material, known as the encapsulant, matrix or shell, forms a protective coating or matrix around the core, isolating it from its surrounding environment until its release is triggered by changes in its environment. This avoids undesirable interactions of the bioactive with the other food components or chemical reactions that can lead to degradation of the bioactive, with the possible undesirable consequences on taste and odor as well as negative health effects. It is essential to design a microencapsulated ingredient with its end use in mind. This requires knowledge of the core, the encapsulant materials, interaction between the core, matrix and the environment, stability of the microencapsulated ingredients in storage and when incorporated into the food matrix, and finally, the mechanisms that control the release of the core. Depending on the properties of the core to be encapsulated and the purpose of microencapsulation, encapsulant materials are generally selected from a range of proteins, carbohydrates, lipids and waxes, which may be used alone or in combination. The materials chosen as encapsulants are typically film forming, pliable, odorless, tasteless and non-hygroscopic. Solubility in aqueous media or solvent and or the ability to exhibit a phase transition such as melting or gelling are sometimes desirable, depending on the processing requirements for production of the microencapsulated ingredient and for when it is incorporated into the food product. Other additives such as emulsifiers, plasticizers or defoaming agents are sometimes included in the formulation to tune the final product characteristics. The encapsulant material may also be modified by physical or chemical means in order to achieve the desired functionality of the microencapsulation matrix. The choice of the encapsulant material is therefore dependent on a number of factors, including its physical and chemical properties, its compatibility with the target food application, and its influence on the sensory and aesthetic properties of the final food product. Microencapsulation in functional foods. Similar to traditional encapsulation methods, where a shell material protects a sensitive core, example in a chocolate covered peanut, to reduce exposure to surrounding oxygen and occurring in rancidity, microencapsulation shows the same technological advantages for ingredients on a much smaller scale. Also here, the same technological advantages which are achieved by microencapsulating certain ingredients are that the capsule protects the core material against degradation or reaction with other ingredients, and at the same time protects the food from any unwanted flavor of the ingredient. Furthermore, encapsulated ingredients, either in dry or liquid form, can easily be added to food items during most process and achieve a homogeneous distribution. Another technological advantage is the possibility of a delayed or controlled release of the ingredient from the capsule, which can be triggered by various methods such as time, pressure, temperature, pH, water activity, physical force, chewing time, enzymes, etc. Food structures can be used directly as a delivery vehicle for a functional ingredient if the bioactive substance can be included and is protected sufficiently. If further protection is required, the active molecule can first be encapsulated and then be added to the food system. However, the use of these functional ingredients should not alter the product's structural properties, and so specifically developed ingredient is needed for each individual product. In order to overcome the technological issues related to added bioactive ingredients in food products, microencapsulation is now a state-of-the-art technology for manufacturers. The successful encapsulation of active nutrients or non-nutrients in powder or liquid form, as it has been initially developed by the pharmaceutical and chemical industry to protect pharmaceutical active ingredients or other chemical compounds, has been demonstrated. A micro-encapsulated food ingredient has to be adapted and developed to suit product conditions in terms of chemical composition, processing factors, application and storage methods. With the range of different encapsulating methods and materials available, it is possible to develop and manufacture a great range of functional ingredients. By applying different shell materials and encapsulation methods, the microcapsules can be produced with specific attributes. Example, particle size, shape, point and trigger of intended core release. However, it is typical that the encapsulation process for each intended application has to be designed specifically, and this is determined by the functionality of the ingredient and the surrounding matrix. The food product itself, the coating suitable material, the point and trigger of core release, the environmental conditions, the capsule must be able to withstand, and the suitable size of the capsule determine a technological viable application. Being widely applied in pharmaceutical industry, the much smaller profit margins in the food industry are also playing an important role while considering the use of an encapsulated ingredient. The coating material itself has to demonstrate certain properties which allows it to be applied in a coating process in terms of temperature resistance and rheological properties. The introduction of active ingredients such as flavors, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, nutrients and probiotic organisms in a variety of food products requires new and innovative approaches, because such ingredients are sensitive to a variety of chemical and physical factors present in the processing environment that may cause either the loss of biological functionality, chemical degradation, or premature or incomplete release. Encapsulation has been used extensively for many years in the pharmaceutical and chemical industries and has now gone on to find new applications in the food industry. The type of microencapsulation employed in the food industry involves the incorporation of food ingredients, enzymes, cells, nutrients, and other bioingredients in small capsules, enabling the active ingredients to be introduced into food products and allowing them to be released at a controlled time and rate. The encapsulated core material is protected from moisture, heat or other extreme conditions to enhance its stability and maintain viability. Encapsulation is also employed to mask odors or tastes, to control interactions of the active ingredient with the food matrix, and to control the release of the active agent to ensure that it is made available at a desired time and at a specific rate. Commonly used encapsulating agents are carbohydrates, cellulose, gums, lipids, proteins, which is non-toxic, expensive and commercially available, emulsifiers and fibers. There are several mechanisms that may be used to control the release of the active ingredient. For example, The encapsulating agent can be fractured by external or internal forces such as chewing. Controlled release is also achieved by way of diffusion through the thin walls of the encapsulating agent, which serves as a semi-permeable membrane. Melting of the coating or wall material by means of an appropriate solvent or thermally is another way of controlling the release of the active ingredient. For example, thermal release is commonly used for fat capsules and occurs during baking. Release of the active ingredient from microcapsules can also be accomplished through biodegradation processes if the encapsulating agent is susceptible. For example, lipid coatings may be degraded by the action of lipases. Active ingredients in either liquid or solid forms are encapsulated and added to food to either improve the sensory qualities of the food, for example, improve flavor or mask odor and taste, to improve the nutritional quality of the food, or both. For example, epidemiological studies indicate that N3 polyunsaturated fatty acids confer a protective effect against coronary heart disease. Fish oil, which is a major source of PUFA, is therefore incorporated into products to protect against cardiovascular diseases. However, due to high unsaturation of PUFA, it is susceptible to oxidation, which produces an off-flavor. Encapsulation of fish oils provides a means of protecting them against oxidation and enabling them to be incorporated into a wider range of food products. Probiotics, which are living microorganisms, exert beneficial effects in the gut by controlling undesirable microorganisms in the intestinal and urogenital tract. However, the addition of probiotics to food is problematic due to the stresses incurred during the production, storage and consumption of probiotic containing food products. The replacement by probiotic isolates and extracts has been suggested to circumvent this problem, but although the non-viable probiotics exert some beneficial effects, they are not as potent as the viable microorganisms. The encapsulation of probiotics therefore offers a way to introduce them into food systems that produces the direct effect associated with live microorganisms, while at the same time protecting the microorganism from harsh conditions inherent in processing. Efforts to encapsulate active ingredients require careful planning. Protecting the ingredients during processing and then delivering and releasing them in a highly complex food matrix depends on many factors, including the composition and structure of the encapsulating material, the production conditions, and the effectiveness of the encapsulated particles. The functional food industry is increasingly aiming to add bioactive components to foods, particularly those foods that are consumed as part of the normal diet. Food bioactives are physiologically active components of plant or animal origin which have a role in health beyond basic nutrition. Consumers are becoming more aware of their health and well-being and the important role that healthy eating can potentially play in improving a range of health conditions. These include weight control, diabetes, cardiovascular health, digestive health, joint health, cognitive function, immune function, and anti-aging. Energy foods and beverages are also of increasing interest for sports nutrition. Examples of components of interest to the nutraceutical and food industries are oil and oil-soluble bioactive ingredients such as omega-3 fatty acids, carotenoids, and vitamins A and D are being increasingly incorporated into food products for their potential health benefits. Bioactive components need to be delivered and released at their target site for optimal health benefits, and encapsulation offers one solution to this: adding and delivering bioactives. When adding bioactive ingredients to food, there are several issues to be considered. Many food bioactives are unstable once they are isolated from their natural source and require protection throughout their shelf life as an ingredient and in fortified food products without compromising the sensory properties of the food. Bioactives need to be protected before their release at the desired site in the body. Therefore, stringent demands for delivery system for bioactives intended for food applications. An example for the technical process of encapsulation in the dry form is the encapsulation of bioactive compounds into powder form by spray granulation. Herein, the bioactive compounds, example carotenes as colorant, are in liquid solution and sprayed onto inert core particles, example sugar crystals with a specific size classification, where the solution then dries and forms layers around the solid particle. An additional protection layer can be applied. For the encapsulation of lipophilic vitamins, spray chilling is widely used. The bioactive compounds being dissolved in oil and emulsified with a gelatin solution is sprayed onto a powder bed, fluidized by cooled air and solidified around the particles. The obtained particles are then further dried in a fluidized bed dryer or cool. Other ingredients, example hydrophilic substances, demand different processing conditions where heat energy is applied in order to form a dry coating of the sprayed liquid onto the particles by removal of the solvent, example water. In the production of these various particles also, agglomeration has to be controlled, as it has to be avoided or it is to be intended to take place. For instance, the addition of fine starch powder into the fluidized bed after encapsulation does function against agglomeration. Besides these methods for producing dry powder particles, also liquid and semi-solid capsules have their applications, and one common example for their production is co-acervation. In order to achieve this, the bioactive ingredient is mixed in liquid phase and blended with a second liquid containing a shell forming material such as alginates and other ingredients which are prone to gel formation. The spontaneously formed capsules or microspheres are for further processing by spray chilling or spray drying for easy handling. With the development of microencapsulation and its adaptation to food industry, polyphenols and carotenoids as bioactive ingredients are readily available for a wide range of products and with various purposes. The main trend for growing and at this time relevant application of bioactive compound encapsulation is to deliver health beneficial ingredients to functional foods. An important role for consumer health, disease prevention and even treatment is being played by nutraceuticals of a natural source of especially phytochemicals. In the determination of a suitable encapsulation method for carotenoids, the specific food system determines the initial basis on which to decide. The specific food production process has to be taken into account, as well as the food characteristics, sensory aspects, production costs, bioavailability of the carotenoids after storage and consumption. Several encapsulation methods have demonstrated their suitability to encapsulate carotenoids and added nutritional value due to their antioxidant behavior. Example, various emulsification processes, high pressure homogenization, liposome entrapment, microbeads production, spray drying and freeze drying. Studies have shown that the encapsulation of polyphenols does protect their functionality and stability, and furthermore can induce a health benefit by tailoring the encapsulation and release mechanism for an increased bioavailability. For example, lycopene has been encapsulated using emulsion technology to enhance solubility and bioavailability. As with other functional food ingredients, which are currently in focus of attention due to their health beneficial properties, most encapsulation methods available have been adapted successfully to polyphenols. These produce ingredients result in the wide variation of possible morphologies, structures and characteristics, and so yield a great range of possible applications. Designing food structure to control stability, digestion, release and absorption of lipophilic food components and the available release mechanisms allow a wide range of applications in the development of functional food ingredients. The developed knowledge, together with the deep understanding of the relations between food properties and bioactive ingredient absorption, is aiding in the design of food materials and encapsulation methods which, after protecting the ingredient, give controlled release at specific points in the gastrointestinal tract. Polyphenols, carotenoids and also other food components with the potential to constitute further upcoming nutraceuticals in relation to the growing knowledge on their functional properties and health benefits will play an important role in the development of novel food products with added health benefit. Further improvements in their manufacturing technologies, stabilization and controlled bioavailability will aid to a growing number of health food products in the future. In conclusion, the food industry is experiencing growing demand for healthy bioactive ingredients. The incorporation of bioactives remains a significant challenge for many such agents isolated from their natural source. Microencapsulation provides a solution for delivery of bioactives into foods. The oils and bioactive components need to be released at target sites for optimal health benefit. The encapsulant formulation and its structure as well as food microstructure can affect the bioavailability of microencapsulated oil and oil soluble bioactives. If microcapsules are incorporated into foods, there is a need to establish release properties with the food vehicle used. Further research is also required for confirmation of bioefficacy for target health conditions. Although these future products with fortified bioactive ingredients can improve and maintain a nutritional balance, the use of phytochemicals, nutraceuticals and functional foods requires a deep knowledge and understanding of the complex physico-chemical processes that occur within the food and on effective strategies to design foods that can increase the bioavailability of valuable bioactive ingredients. Scientists, food and pharmaceutical industries are not only required to address quality and stability of functional foods, but also to improve the consumer education on the efficiency and safety of dietary supplements and functional foods which claim to be health promoting. These are still existing issues that functional food designers and manufacturers need to face. From the perspective of food technology and as well as far as functional food products are concerned, the future research lies in novel food processing methods, food design and the understanding of the relations between bioactive ingredient release, specifically aimed at microencapsulation development for bioactive compounds to meet specific needs of food applications, personalized nutrition, processing technology with improved efficiency, sustainable production, while environmental friendly packaging also is of concern. The key findings of these activities provide an opportunity to engineer functional foods with increased health promoting benefits.